What you don't see is quietly stealing your peace. God is warning you now. A hidden danger is closer than you think. Heaven is sounding the alarm. This invisible threat could change everything. God wants you to notice it today. You're walking blindfolded. God is trying to protect you from what's coming. A silent danger is waiting in your life. Listen before it's too late. God is sending a warning. Something is quietly sabotaging your future. The danger you ignore today will demand attention tomorrow. Hear God's message now. My beloved child, God is speaking to you right now because there is something quietly influencing your life that you have grown used to, yet it does not belong in your future. What seems familiar has slowly become harmful, and heaven is calling you to pause before it causes deeper damage. This warning is not meant to create fear, but to awaken discernment so you can walk safely forward. There is a situation in your life that appears stable on the surface, but underneath it carries unrest. God is urging you to look again, pray again, and listen more carefully. What you ignore today may demand your attention later, and this moment is being given so correction can happen gently rather than painfully. God is revealing that the danger is not loud or obvious. It is subtle, wrapped in comfort, routine, and excuses. What once felt harmless has begun to drain your peace. The warning comes now because you still have the power to change direction without loss. The unrest you feel is not without purpose. God is alerting you that something in your environment is pulling you away from your true calling. It may be a relationship, a habit, or a compromise you justified for too long. This message is an invitation to realign before spiritual confusion grows. God says the danger is not outside of you but growing within the thoughts you keep entertaining. Fear, doubt, and self-neglect have been quietly shaping your decisions. Heaven is calling you to renew your mind before these thoughts limit what God is trying to release in your life. There is a door you keep reopening that God already helped you close. Each time you return to it, you weaken your protection. This warning is given because your future requires a clean separation from what once harmed you. Do not mistake familiarity for safety. God is cautioning you about misplaced trust. Someone or something you rely on does not have your best interest at heart. This does not mean confrontation is required, but discernment is. Step back, observe, and allow God to reveal what you need to see. The danger God is warning you about is distraction. You have been busy, but not always fruitful. Important spiritual signals have been drowned out by noise. Heaven is calling you into stillness so you can hear clearly again. God says you have been carrying a burden that was never meant to be yours. Over time, this weight has begun to affect your peace and strength. The warning comes now because release is possible, and freedom is closer than you think. There is a compromise you made to survive a season, but that season has ended. God is warning you because what once protected you is now restricting you. Growth requires letting go, even when letting go feels uncomfortable. God is alerting you to emotional exhaustion that you keep ignoring. You have been strong for too long without rest. This warning is an act of love, calling you to restore yourself before burnout takes something valuable from you. The danger lies in delaying obedience. You already know what God has been asking of you, yet hesitation has crept in. Heaven is urging you to move because waiting longer could complicate what was meant to be simple. God says your kindness has been taken for weakness. While compassion is a gift, lack of boundaries has opened the door to harm. This warning comes so you can protect your heart without hardening it. There is a pattern repeating in your life that God wants to break. Each time you reach a turning point, the same obstacle appears. This message is a call to recognize the pattern and choose differently this time. God is warning you because you have been settling for less than what was promised. Comfort has replaced courage. This is not a rebuke but a reminder that you were created for more than survival. The danger is hidden in self-doubt disguised as humility. You have been shrinking yourself to avoid conflict and rejection. God is calling you to stand fully in who you are before this mindset steals your confidence. God says your silence has been misunderstood. While peace is good, avoiding necessary conversations has allowed confusion to grow. This warning is an invitation to speak with wisdom and clarity before misunderstandings deepen. There is spiritual fatigue you have been ignoring. You pray, but your heart feels distant. God is warning you because neglecting your inner life will affect every outer area. Renewal is needed, and it is available now. God is cautioning you about rushing into something that looks like an answer but lacks peace. Not every open door is sent by heaven. Discernment will protect you from unnecessary struggle. The danger is in holding on to past pain as protection. What once guarded you is now isolating you. God is inviting you to heal deeply so fear no longer guides your choices. God says you have been overgiving and under-receiving. This imbalance has left you depleted. The warning comes because restoration requires you to value yourself as much as you value others. Message 22. There is a lie you have accepted about yourself that God wants to uproot. This belief has quietly limited your faith. Heaven is calling you to see yourself the way God sees you. God is warning you because pride has begun to hide behind independence. Refusing help has isolated you. This message is not to weaken you but to remind you that strength also lives in humility. The danger lies in unresolved forgiveness. Carrying resentment has clouded your peace. God is urging you to release it not for them but for your own freedom. God says you are standing at a turning point, but hesitation could cause you to miss divine timing. Fear of change is understandable, but staying stuck will cost more than moving forward. There is spiritual confusion trying to enter through emotional exhaustion. God is warning you to rest, not quit. What feels like failure is actually fatigue. God is alerting you to an unhealthy attachment. You have tied your worth to something temporary. This warning is a call to anchor your identity in something unshakable. The danger is in ignoring your intuition. God has already whispered the truth to your heart. Doubt has delayed action, but clarity is still available if you choose to trust. God says the warning comes because your future is valuable. The enemy attacks what carries purpose. This is confirmation that you are moving in the right direction, not the wrong one. God is speaking now because protection is being offered before loss occurs. This message is not about fear, but about love. Pay attention, realign, and trust that obedience will lead you into safety and peace. God is warning you because something you keep overlooking is quietly shaping your future. What you call harmless has been weakening your spiritual protection. Heaven is intervening now so correction can happen with grace instead of pain. There is a false sense of security around you that God wants to remove. You have assumed everything is fine because nothing has collapsed yet, but prevention is always easier than repair. This message is a shield, not a threat. God says the danger is hidden in emotional dependence. You have leaned too heavily on something that cannot sustain you. This warning is a call to return your strength to God before disappointment deepens. You have been ignoring a quiet inner warning because it feels uncomfortable to face. God is asking you to confront it now while change is still gentle. Avoidance will only allow the issue to grow stronger. God is alerting you that compromise has slowly entered your daily choices. Small allowances have led to bigger consequences. This moment is being offered so you can restore integrity without loss. There is someone around you who benefits from your silence. God is warning you because staying quiet has allowed imbalance to grow. Truth spoken with wisdom will bring protection, not conflict. God says the danger is not failure but burnout. You have been pushing without pausing. This warning comes because exhaustion can cloud judgment and lead you away from wise decisions. The danger is hidden in unresolved grief. You moved forward physically but never healed emotionally. God is calling you to address what was buried so it does not resurface unexpectedly. God is cautioning you about repeating old cycles under new names. What looks different is carrying the same pattern. Discernment will prevent you from reliving unnecessary lessons. There is spiritual pride disguising itself as confidence. God is warning you because reliance on self alone will eventually weaken you. Humility will restore balance and protection. Message 11. God says the danger is not what you lack, but what you keep postponing. Delayed obedience creates space for confusion. Acting now will simplify what delay complicates. There is an unhealthy attachment that has blurred your judgment. God is urging you to loosen your grip before it controls your emotions and choices. God is warning you about words spoken casually. What you declare repeatedly has begun to shape your reality. Choose life with your speech before negativity takes root. The danger lies in self-isolation disguised as independence. You were never meant to walk alone. God is calling you back into healthy connection. God says you are tolerating behavior that slowly drains your peace. Endurance without boundaries leads to harm. This warning is permission to protect your well-being. There is a temptation to settle because waiting feels tiring. God is warning you because settling now will cost more later. Patience is still producing something better. God is revealing that distraction has replaced devotion. You still believe, but attention has drifted. Refocusing will restore clarity and strength. The danger is hidden in comparison. Measuring your life against others has stolen your joy. God is calling you to reclaim your unique path. God says unresolved anger has begun to harden your heart. This warning comes so healing can happen before bitterness takes root. There is confusion caused by too many voices influencing you. God is warning you to quiet the noise so truth can rise again. God is alerting you to misplaced priorities. You have been investing heavily in what cannot sustain you. Reordering your focus will restore peace. The danger lies in ignoring rest. Your body and spirit are asking for renewal. God is calling you to pause before collapse forces a stop. God says you have been carrying guilt that was already forgiven. Holding onto it keeps you from moving forward. This warning is an invitation to freedom. There is a relationship that has crossed from support into control. God is urging you to reclaim your voice and autonomy. God is warning you because you are standing near a breakthrough, but impatience could cause you to abandon the process. Stay steady. The danger is hidden in fear of disappointing others. You have compromised your truth to keep peace. God is calling you to choose integrity. God says you are mistaking delay for denial. Discouragement has crept in. This warning is a reminder that timing does not equal rejection. There is spiritual dryness that you have normalized. God is calling you back to renewal before faith becomes routine. God is warning you because you are valuable. Anything with purpose attracts resistance. This message confirms your calling, not your failure. God is speaking now because protection is being released. Awareness will save you from regret. Listen closely, adjust gently, and trust that obedience leads to peace. God is warning you about something that has been quietly affecting your heart for a long time. There is pain you chose to carry instead of releasing, not because you wanted to suffer, but because you learned how to survive. What was left unresolved has slowly begun to influence your reactions, your thoughts, and the way you protect yourself. Heaven is speaking now because this hidden weight is starting to shape your future in ways you never intended. This warning is not about blame. It is about freedom. Unreleased pain has a way of disguising itself as strength, wisdom, or caution, while silently closing doors meant for healing and peace. God sees how this burden has limited your joy and dulled your hope, even when you tried to move forward faithfully. God is calling you to release what no longer belongs to you. Forgiveness does not mean what happened was acceptable. It means you are choosing not to let the wound continue to control your life. As you let go, clarity will return, emotional balance will be restored, and your heart will feel lighter than it has in a long time. This message is coming now because healing is available. The moment you release the past, space is created for peace, renewal, and a future that is no longer shaped by pain, but by purpose and grace. God is warning you because something you have grown comfortable with is slowly weakening your spirit. What once felt harmless has begun to steal your peace and cloud your judgment. This is not meant to frighten you, but to awaken your awareness before it affects your future. God is calling you to pay attention, make careful choices, and protect your heart while there is still time. There is a subtle influence in your life that you cannot see, yet it has the power to steer your decisions in directions that are not aligned with your purpose. God is alerting you to pause and reflect, to listen to your inner guidance, and to examine the habits, relationships, or thoughts that may be quietly harming you. The danger is hidden in familiar patterns that you have repeated without realizing their cost. God is urging you to break free from what no longer serves you, even if it feels safe. The warning is given now because you still have the strength and clarity to choose differently before regret sets in. God is speaking because there is a part of your life that you have ignored for too long. Neglect has allowed confusion and distraction to grow. This message is meant to bring you back into alignment, to give you the courage to face the truths you have avoided, and to step into a season of greater peace and clarity. You may have been tolerating subtle toxicity in relationships, environments, or your own thoughts. God is warning you because what is small now can grow into something much more difficult to handle later. This message is a reminder to set boundaries, protect your energy, and choose what nourishes your soul. God sees the hidden worry you have been carrying silently. It may seem manageable, but it is quietly shaping your emotions, your choices, and your opportunities. The warning is given now so you can address it, release what is harmful, and allow divine guidance to restore your sense of security and peace. There is a danger disguised as comfort. You have been clinging to something that feels safe, but it is actually limiting your growth and delaying your blessings. God is asking you to step into faith, trust in the path ahead, and release what no longer serves your highest good. God is alerting you to a spiritual attack that you may not recognize because it has been subtle and consistent. The enemy often works quietly, using familiar faces, routines, or habits to weaken your spirit. Pay attention, pray, and trust God to reveal what needs to be removed or avoided. The danger lies in thoughts and fears that you have allowed to multiply unchecked. God is warning you to examine your mind and your heart, because repeated worry and doubt can slowly alter your decisions. Release these fears, replace them with faith, and let peace guide your choices. God is speaking because boundaries that once protected you have been crossed repeatedly. What you tolerated out of politeness, fear, or habit has begun to shape your life in ways you do not yet fully see. This warning is a call to reclaim your personal power and prioritize your well-being. There is a hidden danger in rushing through life without reflection. God is warning you to slow down, to listen to the whispers of your heart, and to recognize what is truly important. Decisions made in haste now may create struggles later, but careful discernment will protect you. God says the danger is not always external. It can live in your own mind, your own doubts, and the ways you have allowed fear to dictate your choices. Awareness of this subtle influence is the first step toward liberation and divine protection. There is a hidden obstacle in your life that seems small, but God is showing you it has the power to derail your peace if ignored. This is a moment to trust divine guidance, pause before acting, and allow clarity to illuminate the path forward. God is warning you because there is a relationship, situation, or habit that has been quietly eroding your energy. While it may appear manageable, the effects are cumulative. Heaven is calling you to act now before harm becomes unavoidable. The danger is disguised as routine. You have been following familiar paths, repeating familiar choices, and trusting familiar people without questioning if they align with your purpose. God is calling you to awaken to what lies beneath the surface before it steals what is meant for your growth and blessing.